again, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by for another video. You guys are actually, I must say, you're a very friendly group, so I have no problem making more videos for you all. Leaving such friendly comments, and I like that a lot. Alright, so a lot of you have been asking, how do you expand the city? Well, that's a pretty good question. So what we'll do is, this place hopefully looks familiar. We're going to do a little bit of expansion here, and when we've done just a few more blocks in each direction, what I'm going to do is we'll pause this and I'm going to switch over to another city that I've been working on just on the side. And it's the same general layout, but you can kind of see what this will look like, just like, on a much bigger format. But let's go ahead and get started with a little bit more residential expansion. You can kind of see down here at the bottom, that's our biggest demand. But before we do, let's keep an eye on our power. Oh, plenty. If you want, instead of clicking down here, you can click on your services up this way. And you can kind of see we haven't really unlocked too much, so there's not really much to click and see. So plenty of water, plenty of power. And people overall are pretty happy. Our residents, not really. So maybe we can do something to get them a little bit happier. But first, let's get some more of them in here. So what we're going to do is just basically have a traffic-conscious kind of layouts, We don't really want to have any bottlenecks. We might maybe want to change the layout of these one-way roads just to ensure that there's a smooth flow and that no one really has to make too many unnecessary, left or right lane changes. And if we can cut down on intersections too, that kind of makes things happy too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this a little bit further out. And again, this could be like, this could be Main Street, or this could be Main Street. Totally, totally up to you. So why don't we pretend that both of them are, oh geez, out of money already. I'm a spendaholic. So we'll pretend that both of them are, the main streets. Like, this would be like the biggest intersecting point in the city when we expand. So we'll switch to the one-ways. And originally we had a one-way just coming into the city this way, and we had it, you can see, just break out, which was forcing traffic either back towards the highway or just out onto our little main street here. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this guy, and we'll just continue that down, and we'll go out of money, so maybe not too much further. So what we'll do, since we have all this extra space on the outside, is we're just going to get some new people in here. And they should hopefully come in pretty quickly. Excellent. No need for piping since we already have a little bit of an expanded network already. And you know what, let's do a little bit more commercial zoning. Just, keep an eye on the bottom. See what people are asking for. And we can probably get a little bit more industrial. So we'll put some in this area. And again, I like the little spots just to get those little extra fillers and whatnot. And cool, no need for anything there too. But you can see most of our factories are kind of short on workers. So really our priority should be getting people into the city. And we can actually zone up here, but we'll probably have to bring pipes over. This way we're growing at a pace that still grows the budget, but we're, kind of making good use of the little bits of income that are coming in, because this will grow rather quickly. And once we unlock our first milestone, which I think is at 500 people, then we can up the taxes, and then you'll really see how much money we can make. So let's go ahead and increase the speed. Hopefully get some more people coming in. And let's just keep, oh, perfect. Every time you hit one of these milestones, you get a little bit of a cash boost as well. You'll kind of see when I stop, which is awesome. Or when I get rid of this little panel right here. And we've unlocked some new features. So now we can, like I said, do the taxes. We can actually take out a loan if we need to. And got a few more services now that we're going to have to worry about. So as you can see, we've got garbage, healthcare, and education. And these are like the corresponding buildings. And we'll basically have to place a few of those at this point just to make sure that people aren't getting unhappy. Because once you unlock the milestone or the unlock the service or whatever, people will start to complain about that service if it's not there. So right away, we're going to have to go ahead and place some of these guys. Hopefully we can afford most of them. Actually, we'll probably leave the speed up just so... Oh, you can kind of see now, this is what I'm talking about. So before, people weren't complaining about a healthcare demand. But now as time goes on, you see how more of these buildings are switching colors. That just means their needs aren't being met. But more citizens are moving in, so they probably aren't complaining about the healthcare yet. So the overall... Now you can see some garbage. So you got to attend to this kind of stuff very quickly. That's the whole point of my speech right here. So we'll drop healthcare. And we'll put in a landfill. And this we'll just put maybe on the inside in here. And basically to make sure that there's no going back into the region for the trucks, I'm just going to have a small one-way road coming in like this. That way, hopefully, trucks will just make the cycle this way to go back into the dump. Like if you don't do that, they're going to go all the way out into the region, and that'll just be a headache. And if they get caught in the traffic coming back in, oh my goodness, you've just made yourself a whole new set of problems. So now you can kind of see garbage trucks are doing their thing. And they'll kind of, hopefully, work very efficiently. Okay, so let's go back to a bit of expansion, now that we have some money coming in. Oh, I didn't put schools down, silly me. I think we need 10,000, yep. So you can see everybody needs education, they're in bright red. And the education, it's very slow to accumulate. You might feel like you need to place more schools. You don't necessarily have to, just make sure that there's adequate coverage. And just kind of play the waiting game. I've seen a few postings online here and there people saying that education's kind of broken. It's not broken, it just takes time for students to graduate. And they'll move through the levels as well. So you see when I place the building, you'll see the radius. If you place them against a one-way, it doesn't really work well. See how that's getting blocked, whereas this is much better. So don't really put your services against one-way streets, unless you really have no choice. So we're going to put the school over here just for the sake of coverage. Excellent. And that'll make people very happy. And so we'll just turn the speed down just so we don't get too far ahead here. And we're going to adjust our taxes. So I usually move people up to about 12%. And you can see if people are okay with that by just kind of checking the happiness. So if this is dropping very quickly, then you've put this a little bit too high. Otherwise, you should be okay. And also, don't feel like you have to go on a perfect grid right here. So for example, if you want, we can have so this is the one way that's going up, right? So this one we can have like this. Oh, not enough money. And then we can have little ones that feed into it, and that'll just kind of move traffic up here. And you know what? Actually, I saw this a bit earlier. I wanted to do this. And that just maybe will help people move in a little bit faster. Because you don't really want bottlenecks, right? Because then that'll create bottlenecks in the previous intersection, and then traffic just kind of, comes to a standstill. Okay, so let's go back to our neighborhood expansion. If you want, we can take out a loan. I think it's actually a good time to do it now. So we're going to get 20,000, which will definitely help. But you can pay that back anytime. The interest rate's actually not too bad, though. So we'll turn down the speed, again, just so it's not too crazy. You don't want to unlock too many milestones at once, unless you've caught up with placing the services. Okay, so we want a road going to here. But because this is a one-way, it doesn't really make much sense for the intersection to go like this, because traffic has to turn left. So just for logic's sake, we'll just go like this. That way you can see it just creates a merge point. There's no intersection. And when I say that, there's no traffic light, so it's just traffic should flow smoothly in on itself. And And go like this, bring one of these guys down. And maybe go across too. Now again, same idea. Oops. Go here first. And this will just curve. Because it didn't really make much sense to have, a very steep angle intersection. Like if these guys had to turn left, that would also be a little bit peculiar, having to, make the tight here. Actually, maybe not so much to the left. Forget I said that. And then we'll need a way to connect these guys over to Main Street. So why don't we just go like this and that? There. And so let's just do some commercial right there, and then we'll make the rest residential. And maybe on this part, a little bit commercial too. See, clicking on the zone, so nice when you're putting these guys down. Alright, so I imagine we need some pipes. We do. Okay. And again, I like to just kind of follow the road. That way I'm making sure everybody's covered. And so industrial demand's pretty much disappeared. And as you can see, there's no longer people asking for, or displaying a shortage of workers, which is that little icon that used to be above the buildings here. And you can tell the buildings are, I guess, working efficiently because they're producing freight. So trucks will come in and pick up these trailer beds, theoretically, and just drive on out. They'll either take them to the commercial districts in your city, or they'll just bring them out to the region. So like truck traffic, it'll become like a really big issue later in the game, especially if you make like a cargo terminal. So definitely just keep track of how these one-ways are, and don't put too many intersections on them. And if you are going to make, in this case, like a little bit more of a inner-city turnaround, just make sure you don't do too many of these. And also don't forget to do them, otherwise the poor trucks will go to the region and get stuck coming back in. Okay, so back to the city. And again, when I just put roads down, I kind of want it to flow, I want to say logically, but I picture if I'm driving through the city, would it be inconvenient for me to go straight, or go left, or what would get me to the highway faster? And you can kind of see, as we're going in, we don't really have a big road, like a wider lanes. Okay, you kind of see when we build here, we're actually going to lose that power line, so let's pause it. And just go down. And you know what, maybe instead of connecting it, let's build a bridge. And let's bridge it over to this guy. Because you know what, why not? I think it'll look kind of cool. So let's go out, and we'll hit page up. And just once is enough for this one. And then we'll go across, and maybe, is that slightly off? I can't quite tell. I think it is. So instead, I'm very nitpicky, and then some of you might kind of see what I'm talking about here. So I know I need to push this out one more space, which might seem a little bit crazy, but I'm doing it. Straight right here. And again, if this kind of stuff, like if you don't even know what I'm talking about when I was talking about the alignment there, like don't even stress. Like don't worry about this. This is just me being a little bit, nitpicky. So I could have gone out one, or I can just make this even wider, and I think I'm going to do that. So this should hopefully line up a little bit nicer than before. Oh, out one more. That's what I'm talking about. I don't mind that slight curve right there because it kind of works well with the bridge. Neat. I like that. So now we have like one way going in this way. And, ooh, for funsies. Again, just for traffic, So that's the going in. Let's have this guy first connect to here. But if you don't want to go that way, you want to go deeper into the city, let's bring this guy over here. I want to go straight first. And we'll have these guys kind of meet up again. Or like go close to each other. Neat. And that way we can just kind of continue this little general theme. And if we need to later, we have an upgrade point for if you want to change this to like an intercity highway, and then kind of connect, say here, like if we were to like start another little city or something, maybe across the river, then we can make this into a highway. And then even though it does slow down a bit because it goes through the city, we'll have a nice flow of traffic. They can kind of go this way, in and out. Same with over here, just in and then out. And eventually, what you could do is like you could do overpasses, and you could have like a highway, that would just run over top. This is very expensive and all hypothetical, but just bypasses this, and then you could have, on ramps or something just coming up from like right here. Pretty much. Like honestly, with this game, the sky is the limit, and I'm having so much fun with it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and finish off a little bit of this, and then we'll move over to that second city I was talking about. And for me, whenever I build, I'm always thinking of basically like the long run. So I know eventually I want to bring in some railroad tracks. So I'm going to keep, maybe just below this area, I'm going to keep this open. And what we can do is we could have like a train bridge just kind of come right over here. Or follow the general shape of this guy. Alright, so let's make some streets coming out. Let's just go this way. And that way if you just want to leave, go out to the road, do some shopping. And we'll need one that goes back into the one-way. Oh, you know what? This part right here is not a one-way going up. So in terms of traffic, we just want to make sure that's a little bit easier. So we'll do that. And then we're going to do one of those as well. Okay. Now we just have a little bit of variety. So that way the roads aren't all straight. So when we do move to some bigger level buildings, it'll just look really nice. Because if they're all perfect grid, it looks kind of boring. Okay, schmokey. And just zone away. And I'm probably going to have to replace the power lines, or maybe move them back over. So hopefully I won't forget about that. I think we'll do that right after we zone this part. Oh, but I have no money. Shoot. Oh, yes. Excellent. It has connected itself. Fantastic. Modern technology. Jumping electricity. I love it. Okay. Let's just crank it up to speed here. And... oh, you know what? Before I go crazy, I can't really build here because I have no ins or outs. So people actually won't build here. So let's just take this off. Just at least until I connect that point. And let's just go ahead and drop in some more pipes. And just follow this road right up. Unfortunately running out of money very quickly, but there we go. Ample coverage. And oh no, we're at that point where we are actually running out of power. So this will kind of put our building at a little bit of a standstill. So our next cost now is we're going to have to go ahead and just save up for a new power plant. So you can see we have like a rising industrial demand. That's because most of the industry here is trying to expand but can't because they're running out of power. And they're going to start moving out soon. So this is actually a little bit of a bad thing, but good that we encountered it together, so I'll kind of show you what we can do for the quick fix. Easiest way would be to take out a loan. Unfortunately, we can't do that because we've already done that. As you can see, you can only take out one loan at a time. You'll eventually be able to take out some more. You just got to unlock them first. So in our case, because we have a nice positive budget, we can just crank the speed. Hopefully not too many people will move out, and it won't really disrupt things too much. But you can kind of see this will start shrinking. So it's almost like a race against time. And in the interim, if you need to, you can always crank the taxes too. But be prepared for people to move out. Okay, so now we're at 6,000, which is what we need. And let's go ahead and place that. And this should hopefully bring power levels at least into the yellow. Ooh, excellent. And hopefully all these guys come right back in. So I'm going to crank the speed. We've now hit another unlock. Perfect. So we're going to get some more money. We now have some more services to deal with. So we'll go ahead and put a few of those in right now. And then we'll move on to the next city. Okay, so